Hello guys, Sniper here, and today I'm sharing with you something that no one should share on the internet, an opinion. Okay, so E3's just happened, or is still happening. I'm not really sure what state we're in right now, but a lot of games have been announced, and I want to go through a list of games that I found that I can talk about. And E3, it's E3. So E3's either just finishing or it's finished. Not everything's been announced on a list I've got. I couldn't find any actual list on what games have been announced yet. This is probably going to be for like a couple more weeks yet, and I want to get this video done now. So I'm using this website called Pocket Lint. Never heard of it before, never used it before, but it has a list of games that were either announced at E3 or before E3. I think this is from before, so it might be outdated, it's probably wrong, but I'm going to quickly talk about these games because some of them did get announced at E3, and it's kind of important, you know. So it starts with the Xbox, of course. Xbox E3 Sony presentation. First thing announced. So what it looks like here is they only cover really the major games. The first thing announced is Forza Motorsport 7. Personally not interested. I am not a Forza fan. It's just I'm not a Forza fan. I like racing games, and I like Gran Turismo. Forza just never really caught my eye, but that's just personal opinion. So yeah, I know it looks beautiful, game looks beautiful, gotta give it credit for that, but yeah, not my sort of thing. Minecraft in 4K, I did see a trailer for that actually, and it looks very, very good, but they didn't mention whether or not it's going to be for all platforms, or if it's just for the 360, because they've got the Scorpio out now as well, which they've left information about, and yeah, so I don't know. I'm also hoping the 4K version of Minecraft actually comes with the standard version of Minecraft. I hope it's not being released as a separate game, because that would be like the stupidest thing I could probably think of. And I hope it's just a texture pack, like a pack thing that you can swap into and out to. So you can still play at people, and you know there's no compatibility issues, and as long as you can run it, you can run it. You know, that'd be very good to me, in my opinion. But I doubt it's coming to the older ports of the consoles, which are now working, like the Switch. But hey, only time can tell. Crackdown 3, I actually saw the trailer here, the one that they showed for Crackdown 3. I like this guy, he's quite a funny man, but it didn't work in this trailer for me. I didn't understand what the hell he was going on about. It was very confusing, and I personally didn't like that. When it got to the gameplay side of things, I was enjoying it more. I'm not a fan of the Crackdown series because I haven't played the other two. Probably would be if I did, and I know people have been waiting for this one for a while, but in my opinion it looks a lot like Saints Row 4, but with more explosions, which was pretty cool, I admit that much. But yeah, it definitely looked a lot like a Saints Row 4 game to me, which I don't think was the whole theme for them, but it does look like a nice art style, in my opinion, of course. Don't know if anyone else likes that art style. It's all stuff that's just very minor details. It just looks nice. I don't know what the previous Crackdown games had. I don't know if they're realistic or not. So as long as they're keeping the trend and people like it, yeah, sure. But there's no reason for me to buy a console. Sea of Thieves, that looks like a really good game actually. It feels like it could be an entertaining game with friends, but I haven't seen anything on the solo side of things. Haven't really seen a trailer. But it definitely seems like one that could be very interesting, because I know that a bunch of my friends are looking forward to it, and if we were the same consoles we could all join in it, but we don't, and yeah, it's only for Xbox and it's for Windows 10, so yeah. State of Decay 2, never played the first one. I've been told it's a good game, zombie survival game. Don't know much about it. Apparently it's like if DayZ was finished, sort of thing. It would be like, yeah. So State of Decay 2, sure, I love zombies, but I've never played it, so it'd be an interesting turn of events. Don't know what console it's for, don't know anything like that. I haven't seen a trailer for it, and I don't think I could find one. Let me actually quickly check. Okay, so I've recognised State of Decay 2 now. I've seen this trailer before. It did look like a good game then. I don't know if I don't know what the whole idea of it is, if it's a DayZ sort of look like, or if it's like a build 'em up sort of game, because I feel like it'd be more a build 'em up sort of game. But with like person control, so I don't know how that is. I don't know if it's like a multiplayer thing, which it probably is. It's probably more multiplayer intuitive than anything else, but that does sound pretty cool. I'm not really too sure. I'm not reading all this text because I'm already reading this one, so yeah. So then we get to the big bombshell, which is the new Xbox One X. Gotta love that name. Gotta love that name. I mean, come on, seriously, just call it the Scorpio. It was a good name. Anyway, the Microsoft Xbox One X is the new generation 4K Xbox, if you haven't heard, somehow. And from looks of it, it looks okay. Apparently it's bigger than the original, and it's like got the specs that were leaked loads times before. And they're selling it for £500. Well, £450 in this case, because I'm from the UK. I didn't think this was possible, honestly. I was a bit skeptical, because the hardware to actually produce 4K quality at even 30 FPS is expensive. So for 450, that's pretty interesting. I wonder how much of a loss Microsoft will be selling this at, to be honest, because I don't see this making profit for a very long time, unless they're dedicated to actually selling the X as like a console replacement, which honestly kind of, I don't know, as a PC gamer I have no reason to buy the Xbox One X personally. Even if I had an Xbox One, I would have no reason to upgrade. I don't have an Xbox One, I have no reason to upgrade. I have a PS4 because of exclusive games. If I wanted to play Xbox One games, I would either see if they're on console, on the PlayStation, or on the PC, even through Windows Store before I bought a console. There's no real reason for me personally to buy a console, or the Xbox One X, but it's nice to see how they're doing. Also, another thing I wanted to point out is there was a tweet by somebody, I don't remember his name, at one point, saying that Xbox One X users will get a better quality of game than PC users. And he was basing this based on the average spec of PC computers from Steam. I get kind of why he's done this, but then you've got to realise the reason it's 1080p most of the time for PC is because people only have 1080p screens or monitors. I mean, it's not going to change for the Xbox One X, it's still going to be 1080p, because unless you're going to drop another £400, how much is a 4K TV? Unless you're going to drop somewhere between £2,000 and £300, you're not going to be having a 4K experience, unless of course you got that, unless of course you got the money to spend that. Honestly, it feels kind of stupid. And is this even 4K? That's 4K. It feels kind of stupid to say that they're going to get a better gaming experience when, if anything, it's going to be the same. You can't exactly compare that when there's really no grounds there to say that it's fine. It's like, because he's basing it off the basic hardware which most gamers have, which, you know, kind of PC stale point hardware specs is kind of like a really hard one to get into, because there could easily be a lot of low-end PCs flooding the average market down, and there could be like people that play on high definition PCs might just have rubbish monitors. So it's not really a valid way of doing stuff, in my opinion, when they came to that. But that's all I'm going to talk about on that. But it is pretty cool that they are able to achieve this. I'm still skeptical. I'm still very skeptical about this, but you know, it's coming out. They got videos of it. They got stuff. So hey, good luck. Ah yes, the new Metro game also got announced. That's pretty cool. So Metro Exodus, I think. Yeah, like I can't. I think that's what it says. Exodus. I've not actually played the Metro games yet. I've actually got them on PS4, but I haven't played them yet. I need to play them. Maybe I'll do that for a live stream at some point. But yeah, it's a very interesting game concept to me. I really like the idea of Metro. So more Metro is fine, in my opinion, unless of course those two games suck, and then I'm not actually going to be very happy about Exodus. But you know, it's always a sort of thing to go along, and hopefully it works out well for them, because if the game's good, which I've heard is good, then it's going to be good enough for me. So PlayStation's E3 conference, they've got a much better game lineup in my opinion. Not because I have a PS4, but because their games generally are better. It's like Days Gone. Days Gone actually looks like a pretty decent game, even though it does kind of feel really believable. I saw the E3 trailer for it last year, and there was so many zombies, right? And it's just like I can't really see a console handling that in any form. I mean, Unity managed to do like a large character pool, but there was about a couple of thousand zombies on the screen. Again, this could be just me underestimating the power of the systems, which, you know, I probably am. And they've probably gone into some like hard depth detail to make it so zombies only appear if the character can physically see them. So that way you can hide them in a crowd sort of thing, hide body parts, hide arms, but then that would require a lot of processing power. I'm not sure how I feel about Days Gone. It sounds like an interesting game, but I personally wouldn't buy it at this point. I would need to have more information about it. There's probably a trailer that I missed, so I'll have a look back at that after this. God of War returning. Oh my god, the God of War looks so interesting to me. I haven't played any of the other God of Wars, and I need to get on that bandwagon. But this God of War actually looks really interesting to me. It feels like Kratos and his son is what I've heard it's been confirmed as. Like the depth, the balance between them two. I kind of hope it considering he's supposed to be the God of War and Wrath and everything, it does kind of seem kind of strange that he has a son. But I kind of like the idea that he like has to train up his son. Maybe his son will take over from him. I doubt it. Can't kill Kratos. But you know, it's kind of an interesting take. I really like the look of it. I hope the gameplay is stellar, because that's probably going to be the one thing that's going to really annoy everyone if it doesn't work, is the gameplay. But hopefully, from what I've seen, it looks fine. But when it gets to game, that's completely different. And the new SpiderMan game. Now, I love the look of the new SpiderMan game. It looks beautiful. I just hope it's not as big as a mess up as the previous SpiderMan games. Spider-Man has had a very bad run of certain games. There's been a few good ones, like the PS2 one. I personally love the PS1 one, the first one, because that's the one I grew up with. I didn't know anything else about the Spider-Man until that. And it was like, yeah, I kind of liked the Spider-Man games. It was great. I don't even remember who got me that game now. It's like so long ago, and it's just like an amazing sort of experience. So I kind of hope Spider-Man lives up to how the web swinger should be. You know, I've heard it's got dynamic web physics. You can actually go around the town, which is great. If it's anything like Spider-Man 2 on the PS2, then it's going to be an amazing game. I just hope they don't have bland characters, like the stealth sections are all the same, and the fighting gets really repetitive. But if any of that is in the game, I'm going to be very disappointed, because Spider-Man can do a lot more than that, and I hate to see him limited in such a small way. From what we saw from the trailer, the gameplay trailer at least, it seemed like you could attack objects around the environment and use gadgets. So hopefully they'll show up a new way of playing the game, which will add more depth. Of course, I would love to be able to do millions of different combos if I wanted to, and if I had the abilities to. But I can't exactly say much about that, because obviously I didn't make the game. You know, would be nice. The Last of Us 2. So I kind of knew this game was going to get a sequel before I even heard of The Last of Us. I've had a few mates telling me about it, and like what they told me about the sort of story seems like you wouldn't want the story to die, or like it would continue for years and years and years. So I wasn't expecting Last of Us 2 not to show up. Let's be honest. I haven't beat the first game yet. I'm assuming something happens in the first game, because here it looks like there's an older Ellie. I've only played about 2 hours into the game, and I'm still recording it for YouTube for you guys. If you want to catch that series, it'll be at the end. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. because considering where I am in the story right now, how the game will end will mean a lot. I already have some feelings on how the game's going to end, because, you know, standard tropes in like stories. But hopefully it doesn't turn out the way I hope. Death Stranding. Oh, the Kojima game. I cannot wait. The Death Stranding is one of the reasons I bought a PS4. That, Crash Bandicoot, Final Fantasy VII, and Final Fantasy XII are the reasons I bought the PS4. Now, I also bought PS4 because my mate has some games that we can play together. Granted, I prefer it if he did on PC, and he's not up to a PC scratch standard, which kind of sucks. But Death Stranding, even though we know very little about it, we know nothing, I'm still excited for the game, because Kojima has shown that he can do really detailed stories, really complex things that don't make sense, but still make it into a workable game that people can enjoy. I'll be honest, I still don't understand any of the Metal Gear storyline. Like, I get pieces here and there, but I cannot make them a consistent, like one sort of contingency. I can't work out Metal Gear, and it's been out for God knows how long. And it's still an amazing game. So I hope Death Stranding's an amazing game. Apparently, even the guy that the main lead doesn't know the story, and he's been told it several times. So I'm excited. I really hope it doesn't. I really hope he puts all the effort he can into this, because I know all the stuff. I've heard all the rumours about what happened to him when he was at Konami, and recently the Jim Sterling actually posted the video, Mod Theft Auto. At the very end, he has his fuck Konami thing, which he does now and then, and some of the stuff that Konami does kind of doesn't really feel like they should be in the game industry at all, based on what he says. Although I don't know if that's truth, and I shouldn't be, you know, pointing fingers saying ha ha ha, don't do that. But you know, hopefully that turns out to be a lie, and Konami hasn't been doing any of that. But you know, Konami. So Detroit Become Human. I actually haven't seen anything on this actually, so I'm going to quickly take a quick look and see if I can find out anything. Okay, so I actually remember seeing this game again previously in another thing. It seems like a story-driven game mostly that kind of looks to me like similar to Life is Strange. I personally don't like those type of games. I'm hoping it's not. I'm hoping it's more action-based, but that's my opinion. It looks like an interesting game concept, and I just kind of hope your choices aren't the entire game, which is what I have an issue with walking simulators. But I don't have much else to say about that. I need more information before I can make a final judgment on that. So yeah, that's kind of my stance on it. It does look interesting. The graphics look very detailed, and the futuristic setting is kind of overdone now, but it's still can be livened up, you know. So hopefully it works out well. Gran Turismo Sport, I'm pretty sure that didn't get announced. I'm pretty sure it's like one of the few games that didn't. But Gran Turismo Sport, it did get announced. Oh, okay, cool. The only thing I don't like about that is it's only sport. I played Gran Turismo originally because of all the cars. I loved leveling up in the career mode and doing that sort of thing. As far as I know, you don't get that kind of experience anymore, which kind of sucks. I mean, it does look like an interesting game. It looks beautiful. Gran Turismo has always done something special, in my opinion. It's like tries to be the best racing sim ever. But I personally just don't like the fact it's just sports. Personally, it doesn't really catch my attention. It does look nice though, and it would have to be one I have to get on either pre-owned or see more about to see if I want to buy it brand new. But I don't know, this could be a no to me. I'm not really too sure at this moment in time. It's very a confusing step of this chapter. So Uncharted The Lost Legacy was originally a DLC, becoming a full game, which I've only played like a bit of the first Uncharted. I've got the trilogy. I just haven't played it because I want to stream it. So that needs to happen at some point. And I don't know. I don't know if I can say yes or no on this game yet. What I have played of Uncharted is actually quite entertaining. It feels like a Tomb Raider game, but with, you know, a man and more gunplay elements involved. Although Tomb Raider did have quite a few gunplay elements, she didn't have the arsenal that he seems to have. Even though I've only spent like a few minutes in the game and I've already got more weapons than I can count. But yeah, so it kind of it's an interesting concept. About its DLC by itself, I think it will stand out. Naughty Dog always tends to do good games. I remember Crash Bandicoot, I loved it. Speaking of Crash Bandicoot, that should be mentioned soon. And I believe they can do good games. I believe they put a lot of time and effort into their works, and I hope this is one of those good ones that they've really worked on, because that'd be a very good, interesting thing. So Nintendo time! Yay! Don't copyright me. Super Mario Odyssey. Okay, the one and the only game that I can actually see for Switch right now that I could probably buy. I'm not planning on buying a Switch at all. Switch, it seems like a very, very poor console to me. They released the console with barely anything there, and Mario Odyssey feels like it should have been released on release day. It looks like a very interesting game though, because I loved the Super Mario Galaxy series, and this feels like it's the Super Mario Galaxy series just out the galaxies, which is kind of okay in my book. It's not as bad as saying making it all like if they put the Super Mario Galaxy series completely in the original 2D setting and demanded you play that way. So it's really nice. I like the whole freedom aspect of Mario, especially like running around, seeing places, visiting things, chatting to people, just hanging out. I do like that, and it's cool to see that Nintendo still does that sort of thing, even though it's their less popular selling games. So yeah, it's one of the only reasons I'd buy a Switch, even though I'm not going to buy a Switch. Xenoblade Chronicles, I can't get that right, 2. I've not played the game. I've heard it's good, but it's not a game for me to sell. Like, it wouldn't sell the console for me at all. I just don't know much about the game. I've heard it's an RPG game, similar in styles of Final Fantasy, just different. But I wasn't told too much about it, which kind of sucks. The untitled Pokemon RPG title. I believe that was announced as the Stadium game, which honestly I'm not interested in at all. The only thing that interested me about the showing they did was the Sun and Moon. I enjoyed Sun and Moon, the Ultra Sun and Moon looks. Even though I already own Moon, I kind of would buy it again just to see the differences. And it feels stupid to say that, buy the same game again. It feels like Ultra should be DLC, but Nintendo DLC don't usually happen. Like, it's very, very unlikely Nintendo would do that. I mean, Pokemon DLC just doesn't seem to happen. So people were there was rumors going around that it was going to be a Pokemon sort of third trilogy attachment to the previous series called Stars. And honestly, I can get on board with that. Pokemon Stars on the Switch would be a great idea. I mean, bringing the mainline game onto a portable / home console is kind of a big deal. And I think it could be the pushing point for the Switch, especially if you allowed people to play with each other through the system of the Switch. And it's kind of, I feel like that could be a tipping point for a lot of people to buy the Switch, because there's going to be more. There would be more stuffs in Stars. There'd be an additional legendary. There'd be, pardon me, the other legendaries and stuff like that, like Platinum was, which I loved. I loved Platinum. It was great. I honestly don't ever see it happening, but because Nintendo are saying that they want to keep the platforms separate when they're the same. It's confusing. Nintendo confused me. Metroid Prime 4, did that get announced? I don't think that did. I really doubt that got announced. Apparently it did get announced, but it's got like really early in development. So I guess they're making another Metroid game. That'll make all the Metroid fans happy, to be fair. Never played Metroid Prime either. It does look a good game. I've looked at videos. First person shooter stuff. Just make the fans happy. It looks like a good game. Probably going to come out on the Switch only, which kind of a shame. But in Nintendo, they wanna sell the Switch. I don't really have much to say about Metroid. I haven't grown up with it. I haven't grown up with Nintendo. So like all the games here, only one I'd actually buy the console for is Odyssey. So there's no point in me buying the console. Legend of the Wild, Breath of the Wild DLC. I don't actually know what DLC's got announced. I believe the Master Trials are just the game on a harder version, which really Nintendo selling harder games. So one of the things they're adding is the Trial of the Swords, which seems to be like a onslaught battle ramp, like wave battle thing. I'm not really too sure. The hero path mode, don't really care about that. Wouldn't care about that anyway. And the hard mode, which honestly I don't feel like a game difficulty should be sold as DLC. It feels rippy-offy like. Maybe if it came free when the DLC got announced to everybody, because hard mode, difficulty settings are part of a game. You can't just add them later and expect you to buy these. I don't know if they're actually selling it or if it, you know, comes back like normally. But I don't know if they're actually planning on selling this as a DLC. But you don't sell stuff like that as a DLC. I've seen a few games try doing it, and it's just like, no, why would I pay extra money to play the game harder? Why would I pay extra money to, you know, do some stuff that I should be able to do from the get-go? It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so I've heard about this Mario and Rabbit battle thing. I'm not sure if it's a party game. I'm not sure if it's like a RPG. I just think the concept of rabbits and Mario is very strange. I'm really surprised that it went through that. But hopefully Rayman shows up. That's all I have to say. I'm not interested in that at all. Splatoon 2? Yep, that's literally just Splatoon with more stuff. It's worse than Call of Duty because they don't even change the colours. It's like, seriously, what new in that game is there other than a few like maps and like the weapons are the same, the kids are the same. There's like a few areas that are different. Most of them are the same. The only real thing is that it's on the Switch. It's like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's got a few things new, fair enough, and it's just to sell the game on the Switch. It's not enough. It's not enough for me to want to do that. So yeah, it's just, it feels lacking in a very, very standard sense, which I feel like should be addressed more with Nintendo, to be honest. As it does seem like they'll do anything now just to get people to buy the new console. I mean, I would, so, you know. ARMS, never was interested in ARMS. It just looks like a boxing game like the Wii Sports had. So, yeah. I do like the idea of the mechanics, you know, the whole fighting system where the springs go flying, but I was just never interested in it. If I wanted to play with mates, you'd need the Joy-Cons, and it's just not my cup of tea. Personally, I'm not much of a fighter. I'm much more of a person who wants to be behind a controller and mashing buttons to kick your ass, rather than actually having to work to kick your ass. I'm not exactly skinny. But yeah, that's it for Nintendo, because, and just, yeah, I've never really been interested in Nintendo games. There have been a few that have definitely swayed me, but I would never buy a console for Nintendo games. Nintendo need to be more third party, and I know that's gonna really annoy some Nintendo fans, but I believe they're killing themselves by doing like console and they're not expecting to have all these other third party games come on. The reason people don't make games for the Nintendo system is because it's not powerful enough. We live in a generation where graphics, speed, processing power, and all this stuff is super important, and Nintendo would choose to ignore it. They're the hippies of the console world. And don't get me wrong, I love the ideas coming into it, the whole Joy-Con, the whole portable console thing. That is beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I just wish they could give it the dedicated power, even if it wasn't in portable mode, right? Say the base had the power to bring it up to the Xbox One, PS4 level, and then you could get games like Call of Duty and, you know, other games that on the other consoles that people love, that would bring them over because it's on a console that they can now play and don't have to spend £200 extra for a console for one game. Do you see my point? Basically, I don't see the point in buying a Nintendo console just for Nintendo games. It doesn't make any sense at all. And honestly, I would much rather see Mario on my PC. Mario on my phone, which he is, but I wouldn't buy that because it's like No. Doesn't have to go to consoles. I don't. It doesn't have to go to consoles. You know, join the PC market. Make peripherals. Make anything. I mean, Sega died out because they, you know, made stupid mistakes for the consoles. I mean, but as much as you're selling the Switch, I don't think this is your saving grace. Even if it is one of the best-selling consoles of all time. Just my opinion. So apparently there's a new Kirby game coming from the Switch. I did like Kirby. Kirby is quite a nice one. Never played the games, but that's just, you know, me. I've always liked Kirby as a character. He seems like a really nice, a playable character. He has a weird charm to him, and I like that. And I love the fact that his ability is eating people, and then he steals their abilities, because that's a very interesting concept. Okay, Ubisoft at E3. Okay, so this is the big company, the one that has like a lot to love up to currently. So first off, Beyond Good and Evil 2 was announced. People will be dying for that. And for good reason. I know. I've not played the first one. Again, another game I've not played. I know. Can I even call myself a gamer at this point? But from what I've heard of it, it's such a good concept, and people were dying for it for years. To see that it's actually getting I think it's a prequel to the original. I think people are gonna love this. I saw the trailer. And it looked very interesting. The futuristic setting, the whole chase scene, the whole getting away with information, the pig. I just hope it's not a kid's game, you know. It felt a little bit kiddie when it came to the trailer. Then again, he was swearing, and then there was actual proper battles, and there was explosions. It looked beautiful. I just hope it's not pre-rendered cutscenes. I do actually hope that was in-game engine. Now, Assassin's Creed Origins is a big kind of one. I like the Assassin's Creed games. My last favourite one, and the last one I played, was Black Flag. I have not played any of the other new ones because they just didn't feel good to me. They kept running it on a 1-year cycle, and it just doesn't work with an open world game. You can't build and make and populate and make it fun in 1 year. You can't do an open world game in a year. Doesn't matter if you have millions of people, or, you know, millions of money, millions of pounds, millions of dollars, millions of everything, and then have like people working on it. It's just not gonna happen. It just doesn't feel right, like, to treat an open world game like a yearly event, which is why I'm kind of glad they decided not to with this one. The game looks pretty good. I like the Egyptian theme. I like the whole mechanics they've introduced. I just hope they work properly and are balanced together in a very, like, you know, they work like they're actually going to work as a proper system rather than be exploited like 24/7. If I could find like one tiny glitch that gives me infinity XP, now I'm super badass like assassin. I kind of won't like that at all. So I hope there's no real problems like that. I know for a fact there are probably going to be bugs. Ubisoft are one of the companies known for bugs, so have it as you will, but still, I'm expecting bugs. Far Cry 5, this one caused a lot of controversy, and I actually love it. I 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 love the whole theme of Far Cry 5. Far Cry 5 looks amazing, because for the first time in forever, white people are the bad guys, and people were complaining about racism and stuff like that, want to get the game boycotted because it had religious themes. They didn't realise that the other games were about other people's cultures and religions and were racist and stuff like that. I love the idea, man. Fighting evil Americans as an American in the game sounds like a great idea. I'm surprised they took so long to actually do something like this, but then again, people, politics, cinematic systems. You know, this is the sort of thing I could see happening in real life if this became a proper threat. Whereas the other ones I don't actually see as a proper threat, ever. Like, this one could probably actually happen if people got into power and people started taking up arms, and the government just kind of disappeared. So hopefully the government doesn't appear. That'd be terrible. But I'm excited for this game, honestly, and this is probably one of the only games from Ubisoft I'll be pre-ordering. I don't actually know when it comes out, and I'll be getting it on PC. Probably a mistake because I want to live stream it, and I'll probably have to do it on Twitch because of the scenes that are probably going to be in this, because Far Cry, I haven't actually beat the other Far Cry's, but it looks pretty good in my opinion. I've heard nothing of Skull and Bones, I've not looked at it, I've not heard of it, no rumours or anything like that, so I'm skipping that. I believe from what, the only thing I can really make out of it would be a pirate game. That's all I could think. Skull Bones, I'm just thinking of the Skull Bone, yeah. The Crew 2. No. The South Park Fractured Butthole. I am actually really excited for that game. I'm pre-ordering that as soon as I got the money. I loved the Stick of Truth. Stick of Truth was amazing, and the Fractured Butthole better continue that amazingness. Amazingness. It's a thing now. Shush. Because I enjoyed the first one, and all I wanted from the first one was more of the game. So this would be a pretty good, you know, sort of thing, and I hope they open up avenues for like a story DLC. You know, continue the story. Like if I could get another 6-hour campaign out of a DLC that costs like a $5, probably not a $5, it's Ubisoft. But it'd be very interesting, and I kind of want at least a decent, you know, 16-hour game maybe out of this, because the Stick of Truth, its main flaw was it was too short. There wasn't enough to do. I kind of felt like I did everything within the 4 hours I played the game. I got all the cards, I got all the Pokemon, that's the one. Did all the side quests. Got all the Facebook friends. Oh, I didn't get all the Facebook friends because that would take way too long. But I got quite a decent amount of them, and it just didn't feel long enough. It was just literally not long enough. So I hope they fix that. Phone Destroyer mobile app. Never heard of it. Not even gonna bother looking at that one. I know it's South Park, but I'm just not interested. Starlink, I've looked at this, and the one concept on this I don't like is the toy thing. Now, I will state this now, I don't like the Lego Dimension toy thing, I don't like the Disney Infinity toy thing, and I don't like the Skylanders toy thing, from where it all started. I just don't like the idea of having to pay extra for game content I own. I mean, all the content is in the game, you're just modifying stuff for the game, not technically in the game. For example, in the Lego Dimension one, you couldn't get the first set as a full box, at least not as far as I'm aware. Which means you have to go out and buy the individual Lego pieces to play as the characters. Now, I've not played the games because, again, I don't like those sort of things, so I don't know if the characters are actually unlockable in the game, but as far as I know, you can't. Please someone correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I've heard and that's what I'm currently believing. So the fact that they've got this in the Starlink thing with the weapons and stuff doesn't make me happy at all. It just feels like a cheaper version of Lego, actually, the Lego stuff. Because at least with the Lego stuff, I know them, I could probably get on with them, but no, just no. Rayman Legends Definitive Edition for the Switch, honestly pretty cool. I like Rayman. Rayman Legends, I've got the game, not played it, but it does look cool. And I've always loved Rayman. I played the first one on the PS1, so, you know, welcome to the Switch. It's pretty nice. I've never had a Steep. EA at E3? Okay, so EA is always a big mixture of companies, which either goes right or wrong. I actually know a guy that works in EA, and he's quite high up. So, hopefully he's not watching this. Anthem? Hope I'm saying that right, probably not. It was an interesting game thing that I saw in the trailer. I didn't watch much of it because I got really bored of the narrator, personally. they just weren't enthusiastic enough for me. So I kind of skipped out halfway through. But I like the idea of like Titans, Attack on Titan sort of thing. At least that's what it looked like, just without the maneuver gear and much older tech. So hopefully it's interesting. I don't really know what else to say about that. It doesn't really look much. Oh, there's a picture here and it's got alien tech. Let me get into the bit where I skipped. Okay, so what I saw could have just been one tiny like area in the entire game. So the wall thing I said earlier might be completely wrong. But hey, it doesn't matter to me, really. So Star Wars Battlefront 2, I'm actually really excited. I didn't buy the first one because it looked shit. It looked like a cash grab. It turned out it was. I was right. And I'm kind of glad I didn't walk into that one. This one here though, too, every trailer has impressed me. Every gameplay clip I've seen of it so far has really, really, really impressed me. They used the technology they got from the first one, and they've clearly done their work to bring in the previous. Obviously, I can only say what I've seen in the trailers, so a lot of this could be just thrown out in the last minute, and like 80% of it is probably DLC. But what I have heard, which I'm kind of surprised at, is apparently the DLC is free? Don't know, but that could be a good turning point. I just wait for the microtransactions. But yeah, no, I really hope they keep a good standing with this game. Battlefield 2, the original one I have to call it now, isn't it? Is honestly still one of my favourite sort of FPS shooter strategy sort of things, because I just loved the way it felt. It was a class-based system like Battlefield, sorry. And it had, you know, an interesting gameplay element to me. It's very outdated now, but personally I would just want a HD remaster version of the original Battlefront 2. Maybe with a few more maps and vehicles, but I would personally just want a HD remaster. Nothing more, nothing less, just a HD remaster. And whilst this doesn't look anything like a HD remaster, I do like what it's showing. So be good, please. I also love the fact that Rey's in this one. I don't know if she was in the other one because I didn't play it. I'm assuming if she was DLC, which kind of sucks. But hopefully, you know, Rey, the new story, episode 8, any of the side stories. Hopefully, they can do whatever they can do. You know, I just want it in there. A Way Out. This is actually an interesting game that I like the look of. A Way Out, split screen all the way, even in online mode. Now that's a very first for a game, and I'll probably never play it because I don't have friends. Yeah, Way Out is a prison break escape game, but they kind of already ruined the story a little because we know they escape, and they said stuff like that. So it's kind of like I don't actually know what's in the bag anymore. The cat got out of the bag. What else is in there? Because from what they've been saying, it's all about escaping prison. But then in the trailer they show that they have escaped prison, and now they're on the run. It doesn't really make much. I don't know, one of them's got a kid, so it's confusing. It just doesn't seem to, you know, match up for me. Overall though, a very interesting concept, and I probably would buy that. Because I do like my co-op games, and as long as I can find somebody, it should be fine. FIFA 18, because I don't want to get ripped off more. Yay! Yay! No, seriously, FIFA, what do you do differently every year? There's nothing different. You're worse than the fucking Switch with Splatoon. At least the Splatoon comes with stuff. At least fucking Mario comes with stuff. It's football. All you do is update the fucking lead line character top position place thing. It doesn't do anything different. Like, there's nothing different in any game I've seen so far. I just hate football games. I hate football, personally. I mean, the only time I'll support football is during the World Cup because the team kind of needs more stars, but I just don't like football games. FIFA for the Switch, I'm not even going to get into that. If you're going to buy FIFA, you're not buying it for the Switch. Just saying now. Especially with the rumours saying that it's not using the same engine, it's not going to be compatible with the game, with any other sort of like any of the features they wanted, and it's not even being made by them. So don't get it for the Switch. Madden NFL 18 again. I just, and NBA. No, I just can't. I'm just not. No. I hate sports games. I'm not that type of person to play sports games religiously or even at all. I know a few people who are, and I'm just confused on why you would want to play a sports game when you can just go outside and play the game for real and actually do some exercises while you're at it. Just saying. Need for Speed Payback looked good, honestly. Need for Speed looked really good, but it feels like a game I want from a Burnout game rather than a Need for Speed, because I remember Need for Speed being pure racing, just at night or on the run from the police, and you know, like illegal street racings. So now they've tried adding a story. I don't know if this is the first time I haven't played the ones before this too much. It just doesn't feel Need for Speedy to me. Maybe it's just because I played the old games and not any of the new games, and probably there is a story, and maybe you're some manslaughterer who shot loads of people, but I don't know, it feels definitely more Burnout to me rather than Need for Speedy. I miss Burnout, I love Burnout. Please bring out Burnout. Anyway, it just, yeah, it felt like a very weird change of pace. Bethesda. Okay, so Bethesda have announced a bunch of games. Wolfenstein 2, that was kind of going to be an obvious one. I expected Wolfenstein 2 at some point, but, you know. Okay. I've never played Wolfenstein, but I have seen it. It looks good. It plays good from what I saw, and it's an interesting game concept type. It's kind of like Call of Duty based now, but it still keeps its original character in some instances. It's still about fighting the Nazis, because apparently they haven't died yet after you've killed like millions of them. Anyway, The Evil Within 2, I never played the first one, but it did look really scary. And I know a bunch of mates who want to play this, so happy you. Hopefully it'll continue the story. I heard there's like a really complex, detailed story. I don't know. I could just be lying for my teeth right now. Skyrim for the Nintendo Switch. Okay, so Nintendo Switch is getting the original Skyrim, not the remaster, and it's at 60 quid when you can buy it on Steam for 10. A bunch of my mates tried defending this by saying, but I can play it on the go. Most laptops can run this version of Skyrim. And if you're worried about the whole, like, they're getting exclusive items, what do you think mods are for? They probably existed in mods before Nintendo even considered them. Sorry, Bethesda considered them. And as much as I like seeing Bethesda games on the Switch, this isn't good in my opinion. It's not the remaster. It's not got any features that are up to date. Skyrim is a very old game now, and you're selling it for 60 quid, a game that's £10, even less sometimes. I see it selling poorly, just in general. And as much as it would be good to play Skyrim on the go, you don't need to play Skyrim on the go. You buy a laptop if you want to play games on the go. It's cheaper, and you know, you'll save a lot of money. Next is Doom VR and Fallout 4 VR. We'll do these ones two together because they're just, you know, VR. Doom VR sounds like a really cool concept, cutting up demons in VR. I've always loved VR. I love the look of VR, but I don't actually own VR, which is kind of sad because I want it. If I owned VR, I would have played Resident Evil 7 in VR right now, because it looks really, 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 really good. My only issue with these is apparently even if you own Fallout 4 on PC, you're gonna have to buy the full game again just to play it in VR. Which, you know, I'm kind of yay nay about this. First off, nay, because I own the game. I bought it brand new. I bought the season pass brand new, like when it first came out. And now I'm being told if I had a VR headset, which I got to spend like £500 on, that I need to buy the game at full retail price again. When I know you did a lot of work to make everything work the way it did, but 80% of the game, at least 80% of the game, is exactly the same as a game I already own. Maybe it's like a £10 DLC I could accept, but that just doesn't seem I could fail. That sounds like a good thing. It doesn't seem good for the consumer, in my opinion. And hopefully, if like, I don't know what their system's going to be for this, but say I bought the VR version of the game, would I be able to play the game standardly, or do I need to buy that one separate as well? Because if there are two versions of the same game, I wouldn't be happy to buy both. I mean, I'm saying this not owning a VR headset, but if I wanted to have a VR headset and then I couldn't play Fallout in VR, I wouldn't be happy, because that means I'm missing out on a great opportunity for a game I own. But yeah. Quake Championships. I remember Quake, not played much of it, admittedly, but it does look interesting. I hope it keeps up with its old style. I remember playing the one that I did play, and I won like a lot of my games. It was great, very fun game, very energetic, and I hope it stays that format. I don't know anything else about the Championships edition, so hopefully it's still more or less in the same theme park, ballpark. Before we leave Bethesda, I've heard they're bringing back paid mods again for Fallout 4, and I'm very 50-50 on them, to be honest. Paid mods are a concept I like the idea of, and I can understand why you want to do it. Modders, you know, deserve money for their work. You know, they do a lot of hard work to do all these sort of stuff they do, and you know, why not have some compensation for them? It's not exactly saying, you know, screw you guys, you know, you've done all this work and now it means nothing because it's a Bethesda mod. Which actually says that in the ELUC thing, whatever it is, Bethesda's thing. Basically, if you make something for the game, it's like they own it now, not you. Which is, you know, a bit bull, but still. So I'm okay. Yes, on this one, the developer side of you, the whole the whole mod makers, the whole story writers, the quest givers, voice actors even. I am, you know, yes for you, you know, give good credit, get money, get paid for the stuff you do. But I feel like that's going to cause a lot of issues, because Bethesda's mod community itself is pretty bad right now. I can easily see this being abused by developers who didn't develop the mods, overloading Bethesda with ESPs, which is the file they use for mods, and one of them getting through and getting money for a mod that wasn't his own. That is the issue that Bethesda's forum system has, and is the reason why a lot of mod developers left, is because Bethesda just didn't give a shit, and they could have fixed it. I mean, the system for Black Ops 3 mod tools means if you make them, if anyone else makes the map, if you can't take somebody else's map with the Black Ops 3 system, then upload it as your own. It just is not possible unless they give you the source files. With Bethesda games, they've done it so that the combined file that gets made, that goes in the game, can be picked up and used by anybody, which was the issue that Bethesda.net was having, because people were uploading mods from the Nexus straight to there, claiming it as their own, and then demanding money to keep it up there, and people were actually getting money off other people's content. So unless Bethesda wants to fix that sort of system, I don't see paid content being loved by all. I do, just think of it now, I do actually have another reason why paid content for paid mods, for Fallout could be a good idea, and that is primarily consoles. So for the PC marketplace, we usually get everything free. It tends to be that way, and it just always has kind of been. But for the console marketplace, it's sort of a different story. For the Xbox One, you do get some free mods. You don't get all of them, and they're not really fully developed. But for the PS4 itself, there is really nothing there. I mean, if you're on PS4 and you want to think about mods, just don't bother. It's not worth it. Get a PC or get Xbox One. But this could actually lead to a good, decent way of mods coming to PS4, because Sony really royally screwed up that deal. And they screwed up the crossplay deal, but we're not going to talk about that one just yet. And I feel like all gamers deserve the chance to use mods. Mods are a way of expanding a game's lifespan beyond recognition. There are people still playing Call of Duty World at War, a game that came out nearly 10 years ago now, and they're playing it because of mods, because of custom maps, because of the community behind them that are backing a game the developers have long left. And people still love it. That's the power of mods. Enough mod talk. So Activision, ooh, getting into the big boys now, aren't we? So first off, Call of Duty World War II. I am actually personally very excited for this, though I am very currently worried about the multiplayer side of things and the zombie side of things. The story, I will play through the story if I buy the game, but the zombie is going to be the tipping point for me, and needs to be at a point where it's either not Treyarch zombies. Essentially, Treyarch zombies is what I buy Call of Duty zombies for now, because theirs is the best. I wouldn't buy Infinite Warfare zombies because it sucks. It's just but I really just want to know. I love zombies. Zombies are my favourite game mode in Call of Duty, and I just want to know, is it going to be decent? Is it going to be, you know, story driven, or is it going to be, because they mentioned something about Dead Space 3, they keep mentioning Dead Space 3, and I just, as much as I want a sort of horror zombie thing, I am just really kind of imminent because we've got no information. We just need information. For the multiplayer side of things, the only thing that I'm really got criticism about is it feels like they're going more towards the whole Battlefield sort of thing, and as much as I can see why they would do that with the time period and stuff like that, it just doesn't feel right. I mean, Call of Duty is Call of Duty because Call of Duty is Call of Duty. Call of Duty is the trendsetter, and now it's copying stuff that Battlefield does. It doesn't feel right to me at all, but hopefully the game will speak for itself when it finally comes out and it'll be enjoyable. I don't know. And there'll probably be like a billion different fucking supply drop things. Which, you know, great! Honestly, with Destiny 2, I really couldn't give two shit about it. Destiny 2 is not a game I'm looking forward to. I was never looking forward to Destiny. I must give props to Bungie though, and the people behind it. They've done a lot, and, you know, to say a developer deserves to go uncredited is never true. They put a lot of work into this, and I hope it does well, because, you know, Bungie are a good company and they've done a good game, so hopefully it goes well. But Destiny 2 is not my cup of tea. My Destiny 2 is the equivalent of someone taking a dump in my cup of tea and then expecting me to drink it, or forcing it down my throat. Destiny, when I looked at Destiny 1, all I saw was a bunch of other games mixed in together, and with all the good stuff trimmed out. That's what I saw. And I will apologise for the negative Nancy on this, but I've just not seen anything good from it. And so many people try to defend this. My best mate will defend this because he loves the game like hell, but I'm just at the opposite end of the spectrum compared to him. So, yeah. The Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. Cannot wait. I am buying that day one. I am probably going to line up at a midnight launch if we have one here. I am probably going to be streaming that night launch whenever I can. I will probably be here playing it, live streaming it, going through the entire 3 games because I fucking love Crash Bandicoot. It's a great game. I loved it. I loved all 3 of them on the PS1. I beat them all 100%. I can't show you them because I got them on my PS1 God knows how long ago. But they're beautiful. And from what I've seen, it looks amazing. I know Coco is a playable character now in all 3 games, which I'm fine with. I mean, Coco is a weird mix-up considering she has different abilities from Crash. So I don't know how she's going to handle on the old level designs, but hopefully it's decent. I mean, I know she's got a few different movesets from Crash, but she still has like the spin attack and stuff like that, so it should be fine. And I hope her laptop isn't just there as a gimmick, because she's just carrying it the entire way and it feels like out of place, considering when she was in 3, she didn't have it on her when she travelled through time. So it just looks kind of weird out of place. And the game does look beautiful. The game looks really beautiful. I mean, the game looks beautiful. I can't wait to get my hands on it. My only gripe about it is, though, it actually looks less detailed than the original. Now, I don't actually mean as in, you know, quality detail. Clearly the quality is so much better in this one. But I mean like stuff like this boulder. I mean, in the original one I remember it being more scratched up, more texture based. And with this they've gone flat. And it seems like they've gone flat on quite a few things. Which kind of puts me on and off a bit. I don't... let's see, if you get the comparison here. See, as you can see, like there's all got these like textures here. And then there's kind of just like these flat textures. Hopefully it doesn't cause too much of an issue, but it's just like a thing that I've noticed. I've also just noticed that that's missing. Oh no, it's still there. Okay, that's fine. And I don't like the fact that draw distance seems to be really, really close. For the gameplay side of things, I kind of hope they're bringing some of the concepts back from 3 to 2. It'd be really interesting to see what they can do. I have actually seen the cutscenes at the beginning, and I think the voice actors are spot on. I think the... what's this? Ah, I didn't know you could get that. Honestly, I'm really excited for Crash, and I hope it's as good as I remember. I want to know what these bonus contents are. I want to know... I just hope this works successfully, because I want more Crash. I want more Crash, and if this works out, hopefully they'll remaster Spyro. Honestly, I love Spyro games as well, so both of them come back would be great. It'd be a massively welcomed comeback, because I'm not buying that Skyline stuff, because no. So here's some more games that are probably being showed at E3 or have or haven't. So I'm just going to go through all these and my opinions of them, even though they may or not have been announced. So Agents of Mayhem has been announced, but I don't think it was done at E3. I actually asked the guys at their Facebook page how GAT fits into the whole situation, because he's a pre-order bonus. And it turns out that the universe where God reset everything and now made the Saints basically the police is now the official canon. I can get on with that, but I would have personally preferred the Alien one, because I'd love to get gone up against the warrior race. So yeah, Agents of Mayhem seems a bit too cartoony for my liking. It feels more 4 rather than 3, and I prefer 3 if I'm gonna give any details on Saints Row, but hopefully it lives up to the like sort of thing. I know Liam doesn't like the fact that it looks way too cartoony when it was more realistic based, which I've never been really a fan of the whole art style. It's always been a bit mishmashed for me. It's like, I prefer the gameplay is great, and the art style just kind of is there. I preferred it in 3, 4 I don't like it as much, but 3 is kind of where my sticking point is, and I kind of wish the game was more like that. Borderlands 3, I don't think it's been announced. The only thing I've seen for it is the engine demo they showed, and it kind of excites me. Graphically wise, it looks great, and I can't wait to get my hands on Borderlands 3. I loved 2, I loved pre-sequel. I played most of 1, but I never beat it because I just got bored of the story. So yeah. Call of Cthulhu, don't know anything about it. But yeah. Formula 1 2017. Again, not my cup of tea, racing game, and it's all just about Formula 1. You know, hopefully it's good, but I'm just not a fan of that sort of stuff. Kingdom Hearts 3, I know a lot of people have been dying for Kingdom Hearts 3. I don't know if that got announced, but if that did, that would blow up the internet. So I'm pretty sure it hasn't been announced, which kind of sucks, because I know people are dying for that game and they want to know how it's going to continue. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinity. So, I know Marvel vs. Capcom has always been a big deal for the Fighter fans for Marvel vs. Capcom. And I just hope they do well with it, because I've never been a really fighting game fan. I've never really loved the fighting game genre, but, you know, just do it well. Metal Gear Survive. I love Metal Gear, but I am not getting Metal Gear Survive. No. Micro Machines World Series. I don't know much about Micro Machines, to be fair. Okay, that's a thing. I don't know much about it, but that's a thing. To be honest, it seems like the sort of game Megan would play. Middle-earth Shadow of War definitely looks like a good game. I know a lot of people are going to love that game. I've not played the one before, but I probably should. I probably should be stopping this video right now and downloading it, but haven't played it, and I probably won't play Shadow of War until I played the previous. But it looks good. I'll give it that. It looks really good. Hopefully, you know, it keeps on with the good stuff that the previous game had. And yeah, I'm gonna skip these two because you've already heard my opinion on sports games. Do I need to repeat myself? Project Cars 2. Not tried the first one. Not even looked at the first one. But what I did hear was there was a lack of cars in a game about cars. As long as that's fixed, I guess that's okay. Project Sonic, I'm not sure what that is supposed to be. I'm assuming it's supposed to be the Sonic 3D game, which is actually listed here. Yeah, it's supposed to be Sonic Forces, which is also listed here. So I'm actually very excited about Sonic Forces. Not too excited about the custom character maker, because it feels like they're shoving somebody in for the sake of it. But I love the Generations formula, and I feel like it should be used in more 3D Sonic games. I hate the fact that Sega feels like they can't keep the same type of gameplay throughout the entire thing, and it doesn't. I just don't like it. You know, it's like if you did Sonic Generations again, different levels, I'm pretty sure everyone would fall in love with it. So that's what I'm kind of hoping here. But the third character thing, just I don't like it. I don't like it at all. What is Rouge Trooper Deluxe? I took one look at the screenshots of Rogue Trooper Deluxe and I just turned it off.
Presents the fearless and unflinching Strange Brigade. This pulse-pounding adventure will rivet you to your game controller. Is the Strange Brigade doomed to burial in an ancient tomb? Don't fail to play Strange Brigade.
Okay. I was not expecting that at all. I might keep that in the That looks like Call of Duty Zombies in one game, which I've been asking for God knows how long. But that, I have to keep an eye on that one. Strange Brigade is gonna be one keeping an eye on. I would probably get it on PC if I'm gonna get it. But if I can see more and it looks good, I might actually buy it. WWE, same for sports. I'm not really interested in it. Red Dead Redemption 2 here. This is one of the games I'm excited for. I've got Red Dead Redemption and I will be live streaming it at some point. Probably at the end of this month. So once I've done that, I will be planning to live stream Red Dead Redemption 2 when that comes out. But I don't know when that will be, and I'm assuming it's going to be December time. But when it does, I'll be live streaming that, so if you guys want to come watch that, please like the video and subscribe. But yeah. So that's it for this list. I've been recording for about an hour and 20. I want to cut it down for about 20 minutes, so I have to skip a lot of stuff. But if you liked what you saw here and you think I should do more videos like this, then be sure to leave a like. And if you feel like you would be interested in watching my content, this is primarily a gaming channel, so you know that I'll be covering games. Probably not as often as I'm doing this sort of thing. This is like a special one-off interesting thing, because I love like watching the E3 presentations, just getting on with them, but I just didn't bother with this year's E3 presentations, I'll admit. So I thought I'd just share my opinion with you guys. Hopefully you liked, hopefully you didn't find it annoying, but you know, maybe you enjoyed my opinions. I doubt it, but you know, it's all part of the like sharing process. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe if you love my content, like my content, sorry, and you know, keep in tune because I'll be doing the whole the live stream soon for both Red Dead Redemption and Crash Bandicoot when that comes out. Thanks for watching. Bye.